Aloha, everybody. Aloha, aloha. Thank you for coming to Leon's presentation, the fourth in 4 months. So we welcome you and we mahalo you for coming and to get the movement going and continuing. And we look forward to all the good news that Leon has for us. And please, Filippo and we'll be passing around the sign-up sheet. I know you've done this before, but please, we just need to kind of keep a roster of how many people show up. And if any other people come in, then just mention to them or remind them to sign up for tonight. Thank you, mahalo. We look forward to a great meeting. To start, we have Kuali'i, who's going to open it up with the oli for us. This is Kuali'i. He's one of the staff at Naamea. And my name's Mike. Hello, Mike.
O naunai ka hala me ka le hua e ka le hua no ia na ka no e o ka no e an ine ane ho io tai ti mai ai ti mai no go ai ti no me ke aloha aloha e aloha e aloha e ni o te atua te lepu te atua te lala ni o te atua te puti atua te mano te atua e kai kuana o te atua muti te atua havana te atua ti ai o te po te atua ala lava o te umo e iho e ala e oni e ate mea ia o kola e hale mai kai ke mai luna mai e o na me aguna no e o na mele e ho mai e ho mai e ho mai e ho mai kai ke mai luna mai e o na me aguna no e o na mele e ho mai e ho mai e ho mai kai ke mai na mai e o na me na no e o na mele e ho mai e ho mai e ho mai e ho na oluna e pi ana olalo e huiana na muku e kuana kapaya e ho na oluna e pi ana olalo e huiana na muku e kuana kapaya e ho ana oluna e pi ana olalo e huiana na muku e kuana kapaya.
As we are going to this meeting, more people will come. Just please be mindful that make space for the customers to flow through, especially in the back area. You might want to move your chairs like about a foot forward to give them more space to walk. Thank you.
And don't be too shy. There's chairs right up here at the table. You can sit at the table. Wow. All right. Aloha mai. Aloha mai kako. My pleasure to be here, and I'm glad you're all here this time. We are in the fourth meeting of this type, and it's kind of a meeting in which we're just letting it flow, although we are dealing with certain specifics. But most of the time what we're trying to do is just let the conversation flow. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of an introduction, and this particular meeting is sponsored by the Committee of Hawaiian Nationals, and Filippo and myself are part of that committee. We are open to other people to joining us as well. But the third member of the committee was Pomai Okalani Kini, but he passed away a couple of years ago. So the idea for this committee was to get together, not so much to stress any one particular organization or one particular kingdom government or anything, but to stand up as Hawaiian nationals, those who are subjects of the Hawaiian Kingdom, to express who we are and to actually continue to live our lives as Hawaiian nationals within the Hawaiian Kingdom. Just living as a Hawaiian national within the Hawaiian Kingdom presents a bit of a problem for the state of Hawaii and for the United States. Aloha, Uncle.
Aloha.
And so this, the idea is to simply to get used to and retraining ourselves to live as Hawaiian nationals within our own country. And by doing so, we actually set up a resistance without actually taking an effort to resist. We simply live as Hawaiian nationals or Hawaiian subjects. So that was the idea behind this. And then we started organizing various actually ku'e actions, in which were quite successful. We got a lot of actions done, and we were able to get quite a bit of press and a lot of attention, and just questioning what the United States is doing here in Hawaii and why are they in our country. And so just bringing up these questions actually tends to get the press interested, and we're able to educate the press members as well as the general public. So simply showing up and saying something and making a stand is a really good way to get ourselves built up, as well as to extend out the information and the knowledge of what actually is going on here in Hawaii. So we started these meetings because we wanted to invite others to simply join in and express yourselves as well, to become part of this movement, not necessarily to build a particular group, but really to build a consciousness among us that we all work together, and as we work together, we all help to raise each other up and help to raise up our nation. So, with that being said, let's see. Filipo, would you like to say a few words at this point?
At this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, just want to welcome you all. And we have a little calabash. Hello. Oh, sorry, wasn't me. Anyway, we have a little calabash here if anybody wants to make a little donation, basically. We are doing this basically to defray any expenses that Sylvia and Mike allow us to come in here and meet like this, you know, because you know, one of our biggest problems is funding. We're not going to bluff each other. The reason why the other people are so successful is because they have all the funds. They don't have the pono, but they have the funds. You know? So whatever, basically. This is calabash right over here. But anyway, just wanted to welcome you. One of the reasons why we started, why Hawaiian nationals? Why?
Yes, why?
Okay? Obviously, we cannot be all of Kanaka Maoli. Obviously, we cannot be, as Kanaka Maoli, all Alihi Nui. But we have one thing in common. And that one thing is a gift of Kamehameha III, Kawikiaole. When he shared his Alorio title with the people, the inhabitants of this Hawaiian kingdom. That is the gift that we have. That gift cannot be traded. It cannot be sold. It cannot be leased. You either have to honor it or walk away from it. And this is what when Leon and I met with Paul Meyer when he was with us. One of the things that we looked at was, how is it that this committee of safety was so successful? And here we are in different groups, looking for blueprints. looking for knowledge. And we came to a conclusion. Why not repeat what they did? Basically, they formed, the first thing was a committee of safety. You see how it rings? Safety? It indicates that the Hawaiian Kingdom was in chaos. It wasn't in chaos. The intruders were in chaos. Because Liliuokalani was going to change the Constitution. See, that's what it shook them. So this is where we came together. And it's a body that we can share ideas and share our knowledge and everything that we can do together as one. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, mahalo. Mahalo. Okay, well, before we get on to some of the business part of what we started last time, and we're going to continue, we wanted to do a brief review of some of the events that have occurred since our last meeting. It seems like every week goes by and some kind of momentous event happens. And a lot of times, we can look at these events and consider them as if they're, these awful things happening. But we can also look at them to see that these things that go on actually happen and give us a direction and a way that we can, one, either counter them or actually flow with them to use these events. So what I'm talking about is like the OHA summit that they just had, the Kamau Ea. Of course, like most of the things that OHA is presenting these days, is very tumultuous, very controversial. And so many people went to these events, went to that particular event, and listened to the different presentations. And there were different interpretations as to how successful or unsuccessful it was. And as many of you know, Professor Francis Boyle made quite a bit of a stink about how he felt like he was being used by the Office of Hawaiian Affairs to promote their own ends. And others said, well, we didn't really quite see it that way, that the information that was being shared by some of the others who were pointing out different avenues that were taken. But they all said, especially those who were talking about the Native American Indian tribal system, they were all saying, you perhaps don't want to go down that road. So they were talking about that as being a possibility, but they're also warning against going down that road. So from the reports that I heard were varied, but I think that because OHA made the effort to do this, it actually raised our consciousness a little bit more. We got a little sharper. We decided what we were able to interpret it for ourselves. We were able to examine the evidence. And so that actually helps us. Inadvertently, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, every time they do something, they help our movement get stronger, even though they may not mean to do so. It's just like when the Department of the Interior came here several months ago, it really galvanized our movement so that when there is a common threat or when there's a common move toward moving us in a certain direction that we don't want to go, then we get stronger because we reinforce what we do want. So these types of things occur that are really quite good. Now, another thing that happened the same day as the OHA summit was the passing of a resolution. And that resolution, actually I should pass this around. There we go. Pass it that way. Yeah, go ahead and pass it out. That resolution is called Acknowledging the Continuity of the Hawaiian Kingdom as an Independent and Sovereign State. It's really quite an interesting or quite a momentous resolution because it actually, the Hawaiian Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs had their meeting in Waikoloa on the Big Island, and and the Kalei Maili Ali'i Hawaiian Civic Club introduced this measure, and it was adopted. The fact that it was adopted actually is a major move on the part of the Hawaiian Civic Clubs. I suspect most of them didn't really know what they were voting for, because if they did, they would find that this actually undoes a lot of the stance that they took before, namely their support of the Akaka Bill, the support of Kanai'oluwalu, and those types of programs that they were supporting. All of a sudden, they're saying, here, the Hawaiian Kingdom is in continuity. And by doing so, they actually validate that the Hawaiian Kingdom is still here, which is, again, contradictory to all of the assumptions that are underscored all of their other resolutions, or many of the other resolutions. Now, this is not the first time that happened. Back in 2012, 2 years ago, they also passed a resolution. So there's 2 pages here. The first page has the resolution they just passed. The second page is a resolution that they passed 2 years ago called this resolution recognizes Hawaiian nationals as an authentic population residing lawfully in the Hawaiian Islands. And if you take the time to read through the text of this, basically it's the same thing. It's saying that Hawaiian nationals are here, and that namely because the Hawaiian Kingdom is still here. Therefore, its people are still here, those that identify with the kingdom. So these two items have actually shifted, at least officially, or at least through their resolutions, the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs. So now they're actually quite conflicted. They're saying one thing and have been saying one thing all this time, but now they're saying the Hawaiian Kingdom still exists. And that is going to be something that's going to play out, and probably, it's something they never considered before, and now here they are. The other thing that has come to light in the last few weeks is this new consortium that has been formed. A consortium is a group of people, and this consortium consists of 4 different groups: the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs, the Kanai'oluwalu, SHA, which is the Hawaiian Homes Sovereign, something about the Hawaiian Homes, led by Kamaki Kanahele, and
Council of Hawaiian Advancement.
And the Council for Hawaiian Advancement, yeah. Formed by the Danner sisters, and now currently being run by Ka'uhani. So, Michelle Ka'uhani, yeah. But this Kanai'oluwalu consortium actually has grown out of the Kanai'oluwalu list. What had happened was back in February, actually it was in March and April, OHA started to say that they were going to be neutral in their approach toward Kanai'oluwalu, which everybody laughed at. And when they went out into the communities to give their presentation about their neutrality, they also gave their presentation about this convention that they were going to hold at the end of summer to be completed by the end of the year. And so there was no neutrality in that particular action that they were planning to take. But they kept on saying they're going to be neutral. So after many of us pointed out that they actually were not being neutral in their actions, they decided that they really needed to be neutral. So what they did was they stepped back, supposedly, from promoting Kanai'oluwalu, and then this consortium was formed. So OHA is no longer leading the consortium. They're just paying for it. But the consortium are these 4 other organizations. And what they're planning on doing is that they will be the ones to create this new governing entity, or this new tribal entity, the new nation. Amongst themselves, they run the convention, and they do all these types of things to create this nation using the Kanai'oluwalu list. And then they would have something nicely packaged and wrapped up to present to the Department of the Interior for federal recognition. And that's what the plan is. The fact is that now we know how they're planning to do it. It gives us a way that we can actually frustrate their efforts. So a lot of the things that are going on tells us how desperate and how anxious and urgent that they're seeming to think that forming this Indian nation is to them. So that is the Kanai Uluvalu Consortium. So keep an eye open, and we'll be working. And if you keep an eye on Free Hawaii TV, they're always giving you information about what's going on and what we can do to counter some of these moves that are going on. So, three major things since we met last time, but all of these things again point out how desperate the other side is to push for federal recognition and for diminishing the rights and the status of Hawaii, the Hawaiian Kingdom, and Hawaiian nationals or Hawaiian subjects. The other thing that's coming up is just wanted to make some announcements about several events that are coming up. Here, let me pass these out. Oh, actually, I need one. I have one. Okay. Several events coming up. There's going to be a screening of a film called Hawaii, A Voice for Sovereignty, Friday, November 21, and that's going to be at St. Andrew's Cathedral Von Holt Room. Following this screening is a panel discussion, which I'm going to be taking part in, and Williamson Chang and a couple of others. I'm not sure who the others are going to be. But you're invited to this free screening, and it's sponsored by the project of the Pacific Peace Forum, hosted by Kahu Kaleo Patterson. So, that particular film, I think there was a flyer sent out or a press release sent out recently, which I will repost to those of you who have given me your email address. I'll repost that particular flyer. It's quite good because it talks a lot about the film, who's involved and how it was made, and that type of thing. Now, the other item on here is on November 20th, the day before, and it's a discussion on the downsizing of the Army. This is another controversial topic that's come up recently. What has happened is that the Department of the Defense has decided that they needed, or has proposed, to downsize the military, or at least the Army here in Hawaii, and on most of them on Oahu. So they're planning on downsizing their forces at Schofield by 16,000 men, and at Fort Shafter by 4,000, which is a real significant decrease. There's currently about 50,000 Army military personnel, U.S. military personnel in Hawaii. So we're talking about almost half of the number of military personnel being downsized. A lot of people, of course, this is really controversial, as somebody pointed out. Kurt Caldwell today, right? Was it Kurt Caldwell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So Kurt Caldwell is organizing a move to stop the downsizing, because he's saying basically that economically Hawaii will suffer if they downsize the military. And he's being joined by the newly elected congressman, Mark Takai.
Colonel Makai.
Colonel, yeah. So there's strong opposition to it from the state and from communities and things like that. But when you think about it, this is what we need, isn't it? This is what we want. We want the military to start reversing their growth here in Hawaii and start to downsize it. Right, and that's right. So we want them to start to reduce Anyway, so what we would like to do is encourage our people to support this downsizing, because they're at least moving in the direction that they need to be, which is starting to pull out of Hawaii. Now, the reason that they actually are considering downsizing is because actually, after lots of studies over many years, they actually had already come to the conclusion that most of their activity here in Hawaii, the basing of the military in Hawaii, is actually poho. It's wasteful, and it doesn't make sense from a strategic standpoint. And they've been trying for years to downsize it, but Inoue was so powerful, he kept getting them to remain here because of the bucks that he was able to bring into the state of Hawaii. And so now that Inouye's passed away, the military is saying, okay, we really need to downsize. Strategically, because the style of warfare has changed, it does not make sense to base a large army here in Hawaii, because it actually is not, they're not as mobile as they should be. If they were based like at Fort Lewis or some of the bigger bases in the U.S., where they have larger airfields and the possibility of moving these troops faster, that would make sense. So for quite a few years, the Pentagon has been considering what they could do to downsize. So now the opportunity is here. They're proposing the downsizing, and I believe that we should get behind this. So they're having a discussion at the Hawaiian Studies Center on the 20th. That's next week, Thursday. So go to that if you can, and let's start to support that as Hawaiian nationals, or as the Hawaiian Kingdom. And then, of course, there's the celebration of Laku'okoa, which is November 28th, and most of you here. That's this one. Okay, Laku'okoa is one of our biggest holidays for the Hawaiian Kingdom. And this is a celebration of Independence Day. And it was the day that in the Court of London, Great Britain and France, the representatives from Great Britain and France, signed a proclamation acknowledging the sovereign status of the Hawaiian Kingdom, or the Sandwich Islands it was called in those days, and basically pledging to never take over and to never impinge on the sovereignty of our nation. So,
protectorate.
Pardon me?
They won't be a protectorate.
Yeah, and not even as a protectorate. Yeah. So that was a big holiday, and it was celebrated every year in Hawaii up until 1894. So this particular holiday, we are trying to revive. We're having a tougher time reviving this than the other big holiday, which is Laho'iho'i in July. But on the Big Island, one of the events that's going on that day is a round the island motorcade. They're just getting people to join in, flying their flags from their trucks and vehicles, and they're going to go all around the Big Island and then end up in Waimea and have a big celebration at the Kahilu Theater in Waimea. So that's actually the biggest celebration going on in Hawaii. There's another celebration going on Maui. Oahu, unfortunately, we used to have several years running, we had a celebration up at the University of Hawaii, which the students organized, and it was quite good as Makavalu and the other student organizations. But in the last couple of years, well, they got a lot of flack from 2 or 3 years ago, and from the administration at the university. So they decided not to do it. So I believe this year they're going to have probably a discussion or some, I think they're going to show the film Noho Heva up at the university. But it's going to be just a student thing. So there hasn't been anything the last few years, the last 2 years, any large rally or anything like that, because it's also coincides with Thanksgiving, and a lot of people are really not disposed to try to organize an event around that time. So what we did last year was we encouraged everybody to take Thanksgiving Day and take this flyer and reproduce it and talk to your family about it around the Thanksgiving table. So that while you're celebrating Thanksgiving Day, even though it was meant as a day to supplant our holiday of La Ku'okoa, we can turn it around and we can talk about our nation and what happened on that day. So we're encouraging people to do that. Last year we suggested people to do this, and we got a tremendous response. We promoted it through the Free Hawaii TV and some of the other listservs, and we really got a great response, and people said it really works to talk to their families directly about what happened to our nation back in 1843. So take the time to do that. Okay. All right, so last time we met, a little over a month ago, we talked about taking some actions, and we had some committees, 2 committees that were formed to explore 2 actions, and one of them was exploring OHA funding, and I don't see Andrea here this time, but Andrea had suggested, and we had concurred, that why don't we ask OHA for funding for educational purposes to talk about what we're doing or what should be done, or just to talk about the Hawaiian Kingdom. And some of us had tried before, and some of us have been fairly nominally successful. So Andrea was going to look into trying to talk to OHA about some funding for educational programs, such as this, to go around and talk story and to just rally people together and talk about our aspirations and where we're going with the Hawaiian Kingdom. So that was one of the things. So I was hoping that Andrea was going to be here to give us an update on that, but she's not here. The other item was a plan for a bank action. For those of you who weren't here last time, one of the things, of course, that really straps us is the ability to move freely with our own finances. And I'm talking about individually. If you're a Hawaiian national, you identify yourself as a Hawaiian subject, it becomes very difficult to go to a bank and say, I'm not a U.S. citizen, I'm a Hawaiian subject, I want to open up an account. Currently, you can't do that. All of the banks say, no, we can't, because you have to either be a U.S. citizen or a foreign national from someplace else. And because of certain regulations that the bank has, they basically deny Hawaiian nationals from having a bank account in their banks. This actually is in violation of federal laws. The regulations saying that they will not issue an account to somebody who identifies himself as a Hawaiian national is actually a violation of federal laws, because there is discrimination laws, and you can't discriminate against a person because of his sex or his religion or his color, his race, things like that. And the 5th item on that list is nationality. So they actually are in violation of this law, but yet they continue to get away with it. So we're trying to explore a way that we can challenge that and that we can actually open this up, because so that we can at least conduct our everyday business of opening or writing checks and having a bank account without having to submit to being a U.S. citizen with a social security number and all these types of things that they require. So we started making the inquiries around, and It's true that the federal government has in its banking regulations, not laws, but banking regulations, it has a thing that they're not supposed to recognize. It doesn't say Hawaiian nationals in particular, but for some reason we fall into that category as if we don't have any country. So we are looking to find a way to challenge that. And it's going to take probably some people to go and actually try to open up an account. But we and then to take it from that point to escalate the challenge into actually a legal challenge of the bank to see if we can get them to loosen up.
Invalid identification.
Yeah, right. It's invalid identification is how they get around it. Yeah. So they consider identification in the Hawaiian Kingdom as invalid because they don't recognize it. So the invisibility is one of our biggest, is the biggest tool that's used by the other side to deny us our rights as well as our country. But then that's why, as I was saying earlier, the passage of the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs resolutions actually lifts that veil of invisibility somewhat. Now, the idea is now to take this kind of a resolution and to replicate it in the state legislature or other areas, or in the banking system, for instance. We can go to them and challenge them saying, this is my nationality, you're denying me the ability to do business with you because of my nationality, which is a violation of your federal laws. And by doing so, we actually can challenge them. But we can also take it further than just the banks. Once we get a foothold, or once we get some kind of a progress in challenging the banks, we can actually challenge lots of other businesses that deny us services, car rental places, mortgages for homes or loans from financial institutions. All these types of things are denied us really on the basis of our nationality. So we have to actually pull together a couple of really good lawyers to help to advise us on how to take this up to the next steps. So what we're going to start it before the end of the year to make this challenge, and we'll keep you posted as to how this is going.
First thing, you need to identify us correctly as Hawaiian subjects,
Yeah.
not as nationals.
Well, nationals is a generic term. So it covers.
Define national, please.
It's
an American definition.
What is your nationality?
No, I'm the word national.
Yeah.
Like Hawaiian national,
Okay.
American
There are
national.
British subjects, right? But their
No,
nationality.
No. A national is not a citizen or a subject.
Okay.
Number two, he's a non-resident alien. Look up the definition in the U.S. code. It's their name.
That's the U.S. code.
Yes,
Okay.
it's their word. They made it in
Okay.
1887.
But the word national is used internationally.
Yes, but we're recognized as Hawaiian subjects in our laws. None of our laws
Okay.
state a Hawaiian national.
Okay.
Hawaiian nationals don't have any statute laws to protect them. They have no constitutional laws.
All right. Well, we'll work that out then.
Yes,
And-
we're all
and we
Hawaiian
can correct
subjects.
that.
Yes,
Okay,
please. Thank
sure.
you.
Okay.
I appreciate this
Yeah.
a lot.
All
Because
right.
we can't move forward until we all agree that we're all Hawaiian subjects. Nationals, no such thing. Citizens, it's a republic. That's not the king. That's treasonous to Liliu.
Right.
So we're all Hawaiian subjects. We can get on the same page and we can move forward. Nationals, that's not us. It doesn't talk to us. There's no laws protecting us.
Okay.
No statutes in the civil codes. There's nothing.
Okay.
We're Hawaiian subjects.
Yeah.
I just went to the bank the other day, a few weeks ago. They refused to catch my check because I wrote it in Hawaiian.
Okay.
So I already challenging them.
Yeah. Actually, several people have done that, and some of them they've succeeded in getting their checks cashed.
No, I just went back the other day and
Yeah. Well, explain to
called the
them.
manager's manager.
Oh yeah.
So she asked me for a paper that your employees can actually look at and read, so they know what your check says.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also show them their own state laws that say how the Hawaiian is a official language.
So that's another way that we can challenge these people.
Sure.
That's another way that we should do these things. If we're gonna be Hawaiian, let's be Hawaiian.
Right. Right.
We should
Okay.
write our checks in our language, not in English.
Yeah.
Learn it.
You did that, right?
Yes, the first Hawaiian, I went in and I wrote my checks in Hawaiian, you know, umakalu, umama, whatever. And they looked at me and said, oh, I have to talk to my supervisor. They came back and said, no, you can write it in Hawaiian, no problem. And that was the first Hawaiian. I don't know what
Which bank did you go to, Lancel?
Yeah, I think we got a federal credit union
Oh, Federal Credit Union.
for
Okay.
the last 30 years.
Okay. Well, they just don't know that they're supposed to accept it then.
I own that bank. I'm
Yeah.
one of the members.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, well, well, that's a good way. Those kinds of ways are good to, not just to challenge them, but to assert who you are. And that helps to strengthen us. So, okay. What we wanted to do today is to really just open up yeah. Oh, Uncle Joe.
Under American law, Hawaii is the only state in the union under American law that is recognized and has two official first languages, Hawaiian and English. Hawaiian and English. So to write a check in Hawaiian and take it to the bank, it should be permissible in any bank in the United States. Because the United States recognized that Hawaii has two, and we're the only state in the union, two official languages, Hawaiian and English.
Oh, okay. All right.
The other thing I wanted to say, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
when you were talking about funding, and you were saying that the previous discussion
Yes.
about trying to go get funding for Oha, has anybody tried to see, because we're talking about the kingdom, has anybody tried to see the princess?
No?
Princess? Kawana Kwa.
She said she will not help us. We already sent her a letter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, she's claiming to be from the kingdom, right?
No, she's American. We should honor our American roots. That's right out of her letter.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
She's claiming to be the princess, and she's claiming to have the right to go to Mauna Ala.
It's
No.
it's already going to be built. It's going to be black marble with gold.
Okay.
So that's
Yes.
that's
Forbidden Hanai. She's not blood.
They say challenge them, challenge these, challenge them. Now, under what status are we to challenge them? Because the Hawaiian nationals, right, they say this, that we have no government backing us off right now. So how can we challenge them if we don't represent the government? You know, we need a government to back us off. So we can challenge them, challenge them. So by we know what they can do. We know how they can turn things around. Government needs to be formed. That's what they mean.
We need to learn our rights, know our rights. Then they cannot push us around.
He says, why they don't visit the Hawaiian nationals? He says right there, because there's no government. Seats are not filled. There's no government again. You know?
We have the right to perform under our due process. Also, you're talking about banking. You're absolutely right. The United States is bankrupt since 1933, actually before that. But during the bankruptcy laws, the banking so designates under Title Code 12, Chapter 2, Section 95, 95A and B, that we are corporate citizens, meaning we are corpus delicti. We are dead people. We're dead people under the 1935 Social Security Act, and we're dead people under the Foreign Alien Registration Act. That can be fought in court against their laws because we are not part of their system. Just like you said, they're using HRS. What is an HRS? It's Hawaiian Revised Statutes. Why would they be using the U.S. government using a de facto that comes from our kingdom law? They have to piggyback on our kingdom law to use their de facto constitution. Now think about that. Every time you see an HRS, that comes from our kingdom law. And that's why we're here. That's why the kingdom exists. They're using our kingdom law every day on HRS. And as far as banking, you're absolutely right. We have the right because we're not under their banking rules. They're bankrupt. They're Title Code 12, Chapter 2, Section 95, 95 A and B, HR 1491, SR 93-549, and HJR 192, June 5th, 1933. They can't charge us a penny. They have to pay off their debt from the controller of the Treasury that lives in Puerto Rico under a Puerto Rican trust known as the IRS. It's all fraud. We have the right because we're here. HRS, they have to go to our kingdom law to use it in order to get into piggyback onto their constitution that has no foundation. And that's what it is. Our kingdom law is here, right?
Yes.
Absolutely here.
Yeah.
Every day they're using HRS. They're using a Hawaiian Revised Statute off our kingdom law. That's the prima facie. That's the prima facie evidence that we exist.
So let's put a king in place.
That has to go through the House of Nobles.
House of Nobles under him.
Has to be a House
How
of
come
Nobles.
he under that? And how come he under that?
Has to go through the House of Nobles and the Privy Council. That's if you want to get kingdom law. That's how you get kingdom law. Follow the kingdom law. You can't appoint anyone. It has to go through the House of Nobles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Dennis.
That's how
We need to
kingdom law
form the
functions.
House of Nobles.
House of Nobles, there are
All
no.
the descendants from the original Maheli,
Exactly.
from the first receiver to the last 257th chief down, is from highest rank to lowest rank at that time. Every one of those is now leading. This is a trust. This is a Maheli trust. We cannot remove any little bit of it.
So each one of us become the nobles.
No, you have to have family to your community. The rest of us are all Kanakamaloko.
Okay.
From the top. We become the House of Nobles.
Genealogy and
That's
tracing
what I'm
it
talking
back
about.
to the original, to our constitution. That's how it
Yeah. Okay.
It matches
I come from Kalani
and
Opu.
you have a place
Okay. Okay.
for the next
You're not
church.
the only one.
Yeah.
You're one of many
So
men.
it's easy.
Right. You're one of many. So that's
Okay.
what the House of Nobles
Keely.
is.
That's what I'm
That's
Keely.
what the House of Nobles
Do we
is
become the
responsible
House of
for.
Nobles?
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
we're all the same.
Keely.
That's all.
Keely. Okay. Mahalo.
That's why we are Hawaiian nationals.
Yeah.
As I said
No, I'm a
earlier,
Hawaiian subject.
we all cannot be alihi. We all cannot be Kaneka. But we all are. You born to this aina. You are Kikioka aina. You are national. That's your political status.
Dennis, is that something you want to say? Dennis. Okay.
Come on, Dennis. We hear you.
Yeah. Okay. You have to speak up.
I just can't help but ask. I'm wanting to know, like, how artificial use is what is it?
Can't hear on this side.
And then what? I guess.
We can't hear over
Okay.
here.
I, you know, forgive me. I'm Lisa Mitchell. I have Hawaiian ancestry. I have no idea where.
How many of you have your home?
Wait. Let her speak.
But, you know, for whatever reason, I feel the pain, whatever that is. Mostly for me, it's the, I guess, it's the land, it's the, something about the way of life, even if I don't know the culture, I don't know the language, something I want different. So I'm asking, I hear all this discussion and all the sovereignty stuff, but what change are we asking for as Hawaiians in Hawaii? What are we asking for? for. I was just across the street yesterday. Howard Hughes Foundation did a beautiful luncheon for the waterfront Kaka'ako Development Project. We have high-rises all over the place. I was out in Waianae today. You know, I mean, I have my own reasons for being here and wanting to speak out. And I'm just trying to understand what are we wanting as Hawaiians?
That's a very good question. That's where we're going. That's where we're going next. Okay.
I agree.
Right. Okay. All right.
I agree.
Okay. The thing is, we're not here to try to form a government. We're not here to try to create necessarily a movement. What we're here to do is to really talk about and to explore what is it that we want to see in the future and how we're going to get there. That is, what kinds of things can we do, can we implement now that will get there? So one of the suggestions has been, let's form a government. And others said, let's, I mean, we're talking about forming a government, but I'm talking about what do we do as nationals at this point? Right. Uncle?
Yeah, Miss Ruth has been waiting.
One of the so-called quote-unquote experts said a very important word. He used the word re-establish. And that word was witnessing and agreeing that Hawaii has an established government. And what we need to do is re-establish that government back into its proper order.
State building, yes.
Reinstate.
Absolutely. State building, yes.
Reinstate.
State building, not nation building, state building.
The word re-establish. So he recognizes that Hawaii has a government. That we are a government. We are a nation, whatever you want to use, but he recognized that by saying that we need to not establish, we need to re-establish our government.
Okay. Ruth.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ruth. I wanted to let you guys know, we were talking about how we are not part of the system, but the way they get us into the system, especially with banking, is every time you sign on the bottom line, when you're opening up an account, you are now going into contract with IRS. So you need to understand that's how they're getting you. Even though there's all these different exceptions, you are now, it's nothing more than a contract. It's not something like that. So with that said, how do we start our own banking system under the charters of the Kingdom of Hawaii? What are the steps? Because that's one of the things I want to see. That's part of our freedom.
Yeah.
Barter.
Exactly.
It's the only way we can do that.
Yes.
Barter.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can I? Sorry.
Hold on.
Hi, aloha, I'm from Kauai. My name is Debbie Kakaulua. And I'm wondering, have any of you folks, there's two in the library here I saw today, two books you should read. It's called, one is Hawaiian Blood. It's by Jay Kawanui, who is a Kauai girl. I think gives her dissertation for PhD. And you'll find out how Kanaka got the 50% crap shoved down your throat with that blood quantum. Read another book, it's called Overthrow by Kinzer. And the fun part of that book says 100 years of regime change.
That's a great book.
Absolutely a great book. That'll give you guys an idea of what has gone on from Hawaii through Iraq. And I don't know if we can add any more. That's when the book ended. But it shows that peoples in indigenous places, their hierarchy, if you didn't get off the throne fast enough per the USA, your history, they cut you out just like the couples system. And the pre-Hawaii, the HawaiianNation.org, all of those kind of folks are the ones that you need to be gravitating towards, because there's people like the Danners that are going to blow you away in a very few minutes. I mean, that's how fast.
That's what they do with the Alaskan Aboriginal tribe.
I live in Arcola. I've watched watched this girl over 2012. I went and stood before the OHAs, the DHHL, you name it, trying to tell these people, wake up, this woman is going to wipe you out. And it was all about the Hawaiian community, HCDC. She comes in, she knows how to do grants, she knows how to do the 501c3, and nobody else knows, and she's got the money. Yep, she's a baker.
How do you think they robbed the
Okay.
tribe in Alaska?
Okay.
But you know, it's
Yeah.
those people are they're going to railroad you, and you're not going to have anything to say. And after that, it's a done deal. She's already made arrangements with Ige to meet with her because she plans to take down Joby. That's her agenda.
Right.
Now, this minute.
She's applying for the position.
Pardon me?
She's applying for the position.
Oh yeah, and you know,
Yep.
over my dead body. I'm sorry, that's too late already.
Okay, Dennis. Which resolution? Probably, I know, yeah. It looks like Keanu wrote it. Yeah.
Everybody's
Okay.
flipping too.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so, well, mahalo for all your input. I know everybody's really excited about you know, your points of view. The thing is, what we'd like to try to do is to say, okay, where? Pardon me? Oh, Uncle Joe, one more.
One thing I want to point out that's recognized by the USA, okay, is that there was 2 states in the Union whose flags fly at the same mast as the Stars and Stripes. One is the Lone Star, and the other is Hawaii. Now what that means is they recognize not only the fact that we have 2 first languages, which is equals, not only the fact that now we have reestablished, we already have an established system, but they also recognize us as equals when it comes to nation, because all other flags fly a little lower than the Stars and Stripes. But the Hawaiian flag will fly at the same mast, meaning they are equals this way. So these are 3 things that we can work toward to make our efforts even more accepted, I would believe, by USA.
All right. Okay. Mahalo. So, what we wanted to do is actually to try to stimulate some thinking, not necessarily right here, but actually to talk about what is it that we would like to see changed. Now, there are some basics that we already agree on. One is that we want to see the change of the U.S. out of here, and the other is that we don't want to be classified as Indians. So we know about those things we agree upon. We also realize, we also agree upon the fact that the Hawaiian Kingdom still exists, and that, as Uncle Joe said, it needs to be, well, he was saying reestablished, but actually it's already established, it needs to be reinstated. And so these are things we agree upon, but from a practical standpoint, what do we want to see happen? I mean, what kinds of things, how do we want to see our society changed? What do we want to see our society look like in the future? And these are things that we really need to start thinking about, because if we can visualize what we want our country to look like, why would it be different than it is now? How could it be substantially different? And if we can envision that, then it gives us a blueprint, or at least a goal to which we can head toward. Yeah.
You want to hear my goal?
Yes. Yes.
I think that we should just do what they did. Get the police officers and go and take over KPD, or no, not Kauai, sorry, HPD, and have certain. But once kind of we overthrow back, then this place goes into lockdown. We can and the military, all of them, every one of the military factions have got 90 days to move. Everybody, we don't need tourists anymore, because once all is said and done, our courts get put back and everything, there's going to be enough financials once our courts get going and we can get those people who have been doing crimes all these years and get, either put them in jail in America, but anyhow, they get 90 days to leave, okay? So all those people that don't pledge allegiance to the Hawaiian Kingdom. And from there, it's like, then we start manipulating back, everything that they can't get off the island in 90 days, all the military, we put it in a garage sale. And all of that money. And then another thing, the Hawaiian Kingdom website, they talk about that none of our mortgages are valid, that there's an illegality to them, and that all of these billionaire people that come over here and they want to put dairy on Mahalapu lands, where there's 100% archaeological finds still yet to be found, or somebody who owns an island, Lanai, all those people are going to either have to put their money where their mouth is. In order to stay here, they'll have to say, okay, I pledge allegiance to the Hawaiian government and fund us, help fund us. They got the billionaire monies to do that. And then, once we get rid of all the military people, there won't be any homeless anymore, because those people can either move into the hotels or into the what's vacated from the military. And there can just be this whole shift. And nothing is impossible.
Right.
That.
Okay. Very good.
That's why we have to remove the military.
Yeah, military.
Because our people should be living on their bases, Indian houses. Not paying no land tax.
Yeah.
Not paying no water in there. All of these things belong to us. This is all our assets.
Yeah.
Why they get to use it?
Absolutely.
And we don't get it.
Okay.
They should go away so all of our people can take over all the houses they
Okay.
built over there.
Yeah. Very good.
That's what we need.
It's like
That's
Hawaii.
Right.
It's like
So now,
The 20th, that's just one of many military meetings that I've been that we are trying to bring these guys down slowly. Yeah, hey, Obama even agreeing with this and trying to bring the military to a smaller version. Maybe you can just have it stay
so what do we need to implement to head toward that? To realize that? I mean,
everybody gets sworn in the next week.
Only those with their allegiance to Hawaii.
Absolutely.
Only.
Yep.
You're gonna be
and then,
here.
because we are Kanaka Hawaii, we're all inclusive. It just is a means then of raise your right hand, do you blah, 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 the Hawaiian Kingdom, and yes or no, if you know, you get on the next airplane, bye, and everything,
But there's a lot of liars in those fools that are living here.
There's gonna be
That's mostly who they are.
the
Okay, hold on.
DOD is
They're
coming
liars.
January
Born
27th.
that.
Yes,
Department of
Department of
Defense.
Defense.
Oh,
They're going to be at Halekoa on January 27th to hear public testimony. Al Frenzo, who lives on the west side, who was trying to, he's got OCD 4A or whatever. Yeah, this is a big deal. That's why I came here. Get down the military. Step number one.
yeah.
You know?
One more thing.
What
One
date?
more thing I would like to say.
Mitchell, what date?
January 27th,
Yeah.
but there's
That-
going to
that's why
be
if you
a
come-
meeting
if you come to this-
on November 20th, next
Yeah,
week,
it's right
Thursday,
there.
on the pink sheet. Yeah, come to this meeting, learn about it. Manu, I don't know her last name, Manu
Kaiyama. Manu Kaiyama.
Yeah, she's going to give a presentation. She's going to give the presentation. She's beautiful.
Yeah, we know she's beautiful.
Yeah.
We know.
I know you know. You know. Let's do this. We gotta do this. This to me is the most important. Not just to me.
Okay.
This is like the biggest deal we got going right now.
How many of us over here have been studying the law?
Wait.
Okay. In order for us
Which one?
Exactly. Which one?
Oh
We
boy.
got to know the law. How many of us have read the 1893 Constitution?
You guys are too hung up on the
Okay.
Hawaiian law.
Oh, you're at the wrong meeting, girl. It's somewhere in Waikiki.
Hold on. Hold on.
Whose law? Whose law?
Right.
All
I'm done with that kind of law already.
All right. Okay. So one at
You
a
guys are doing the same old thing,
One at a
same old
time.
thing. That's why I'm getting mad.
wait a minute, Lisa,
I don't
Lisa,
want to pay rent anymore.
Lisa,
please.
Lisa. Did anybody say we weren't going to this? Were we
No,
saying?
I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Made your point, and we will do this. Yeah. Okay.
To some extent.
Okay. Wait. Actually, I want to have Filippo have a say. Wait. Filippo.
May
We gotta start getting the prosecutors.
I suggest an easier task? An easier task, okay? And that task is basically Kawikiaholi's motto, Maukeheo Kaina Ikapono, is used by the fraud fake state.
War crime.
Okay? Who does it belong to?
Us.
It does not belong to the fake state of Hawaii. Okay? But we don't say nothing about it. All right? The flag. Who does that belong to? The
War crime of perfidy.
Kahea. Whose property is that? They use that also.
And Hawaii.
And then, of
Pono-
course, the national anthem, Hawaii Punui. They sing it in the Hawaiians' faces every time they have a function. And make the Hawaiians feel good. They're going home. They're going to sleep better. Everything is a fraud. Fraud is the hardest thing to prove. And it is the hardest thing to identify. Because people like having free things. Yeah? They like being at the federal trough, eating. Yeah? Well, the rest of the Hawaiians are still in the bushes. If we can remove those three items, I say we have a better foundation of getting after anything else after that. It may take a class action suit. We don't know, but if we expose it, then they'll know. We meet here, we go home. How many of us? I can't even talk to my family members of what I do. They think I'm nuts. Okay?
Is that the same with many of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad all us nuts people are together
That's
here.
why we need the prosecutors, not the lawyer.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
American.
Listen to this.
But think about it though. Okay? I'm not.
His name is Ramsey. I would really love to see that guy, around the table instead of all the lawyers that just brought him here. Ramsey is the head of the Justice Department for the United States of America, who fights exactly what you're talking about, fraud. All around the world. Right now, they're giving money back to the Filipino people that they fought for.
Yeah.
Kubakus took all that money and put them in the Switzerland bank.
They
Now,
killed
these are the kind of people we need to-
204,000 Filipinos.
Are the international
The
law?
head of the head of the Swiss bank system, legal system, advisor. This guy Ramsey, the head of our America, well, not ours, but America's Justice Department. These are the kind of people, and the head of the World Bank, legal advice, financially. I'd like to see these three people sitting on the round table, like how all about all these attorneys over here. We're gonna start dealing with these attorneys and start dealing with the prosecutor attorneys.
Right.
These attorneys are just in there for the glory and the money.
Alright.
The
Okay.
prosecutors are there to help us
So
establish this
how
problem
do you
and solve our fraud
how do you
problem.
propose doing this?
I propose we ask OHA to invite these gentlemen
Okay.
to the round table.
Okay, we're gonna ask
we used to
OHA.
with the lawyers.
Make them pay for it.
Well, there's nothing but trying. We
Okay.
can, like
Again,
you said
Okay.
that your friend was asking for money from OHA.
Right.
Okay. What's her name? At the, what's her name that do that thing at the Yolani Palace?
Dawn.
Like
Auntie
our
Dawn.
She got $5,000 every time she hold one meeting like this from OHA.
Mm.
Now, I'm sure you guys' organization can put in for the same $5,000
Oh,
to bring those prosecutors here.
Yeah, we get
To speak.
50
Okay.
people here, 50
Okay,
times
we'll look
5.
into that.
It's like, have you heard Einstein saying, you cannot solve problems by the same,
With the problem.
Yeah, with the same
I was banned from her queendom.
people who cause problems. I forget. Somebody
Okay,
knows how to
okay,
say
okay, good. Could we have Uncle Clarence?
How many of you people deal with the city and county of Honolulu?
Every day.
Okay.
I flush the
I got
toilet.
them trained.
What is your name?
Chen Wei-in. How many of you people deal with the city and county of Honolulu? I got them trained. When I go to pay my property tax, they got the Hawaiian dictionaries out because they know I'm coming. And there was an occasion 5 years ago. The banker was very excited to ask me, what is umi kala? And I said, it's one of the 2 official languages. Now, what is your question? And now, anytime I'm going to that bank, the territorial bank, I write my checks in Hawaiian. All of us can do the same thing. When you go to city and county, you write your checks in Hawaiian. I'm a stockholder at Hawaiian Electric, and always I open my statement, Aloha Aotea Kako, O Chen Wei-in Ko'u Inoa. And I state and I don't translate it for them either. I also own shares in Bank of Hawaii, and I do the same thing. And I think all of us can do the same thing. Be proud of your language.
No. But we know more money like you.
You spell paquet.
Okay.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I'm Kimmer Big Horse. I'm Native American actually. My tribe in New York. In Chiefs, we have like
Which tribe?
gas stations and businesses and stuff.
Which tribe?
Iroquois, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy.
Oh, Haudenosaunee.
Near Syracuse,
Yeah.
New York. But I'm also Navajo too. But what I see here is a conflict of interest. I understand everything you're saying about the laws, about housing, and I get it. I got it. I'm studying the history. I'm studying what happened here. I've been here since 2008, and what I see, especially in my tribe too, we have a conflict right now. We're getting our land back, and we're fed wrecked. We're under the system, right? But what I see here in Hawaii, the future is like, who's gonna keep everybody pono? Who's gonna keep everybody on the same? We don't want laws. We don't want to follow laws, but we need law. We need if this, and I see it happening. If the military does get pushed out of here, which is good. How are we gonna have a law enforcement? Are we gonna have who's gonna my tribe, we have the Great Law of Peace. So we're having trouble internally with, like, we have no law enforcement. We have all these businesses, we have money coming in, but we don't have law enforcement. So I don't know if we're thinking that far ahead, but that's something I see, and I see getting the land back. If we can go through the Mahele system and follow it to a T. Everybody be on the same page. You come from this family, you get this land, and all that to get straightened out. Like ho'oponopono, like figure it out. I see it working. Like I see hope, but I see all this injustice being restored. I see justice happening, but it's just frustrating because I know that everybody's got issues, and Oahu's crazy, and I need to go to that meeting, and Hawaii and we all do, and just speak pono to those officers or whoever. I don't know why the military's here. I don't know. Has anybody been briefed on the defense report or anything? Like, why is the military here? Is there a threat from North Korea? Is there?
It's when
Right.
China comes back and says, we want our money. They're going to come
Because
here
do we need the military here? Like,
No.
We know better. That's not our system.
No.
None of it is
What
valid.
if North Korea or China? So I was 10 years in the army.
Aloha
Active
again
duty.
after that.
So I'm just saying, like, do we have a way of defending ourselves? Do we have Are we planning a law enforcement?
Limit our ballistic missiles
Yeah,
to
we
2,000 or 3,000
Why would people
mile
in
range, so it
Aloha
cannot
need
reach
to
any
have-
other country.
You have missiles? Are you the Hawaiian? Is there a Hawaiian
No,
military?
they're gonna leave. Now we have Barking Sand. We have all of our installations on Aina. This is our land. All those
So let 'em
installations
go.
are Hawaiian now. Yeah,
Take
they
the
can
missiles
leave.
away.
They gotta leave everything in
But how are you
place.
going to defend the island?
We won't need
That's
to.
what I'm saying. I'm asking you straight up. How are you going to
We
defend the
have our
island?
own defense system. We
Put
have
our
our own
health system
military.
back
We have our
in. How do you
navy.
know that? Are you in the military? Do you know? Do you know the defense report? Do you know what's going on?
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, but
I don't think
Okay.
What she says
What we're talking
is
about-
true. What she says is true right here. We are the land of aloha.
Right.
We are of the aloha spirit. So we represent something that no other place on the planet has. That's why we're all here.
Okay.
That's what this is
what,
about.
what,
That's where we're
You guys gotta look ahead, is what I'm saying.
We are. This
believe
is
me,
very
many people are. So
It's time
yeah,
now.
thank
for-
you.
It's called a paradigm shift.
We will.
Your law, not
We're
United States law.
talking cosmic
Okay.
law here. We're talking God's law here.
Okay,
We're talking
thank you.
whole
All right, but not
Okay.
everybody. Let's say you get your land back. Let's say somebody's jealous and
You
they
know-
want the lower ranking, and they come and steal.
There's
from you.
no rank. There's no rank. It's called empowerment of the
It's
people.
called Mahele.
It's
called the
called
chiefs. There's
sovereignty
249
of
chiefs
the
that
world.
Get the land.
It's
Okay, and
called
distributed
world
down.
peace.
They're only managers of a certain
Distributed
part.
down, okay?
Okay,
The rights
let's.
of the whole island.
Exactly. I know what I'm talking
What
about.
one of the
I
things
know
that
the culture than you do.
we're actually
That's
one of the
part
things
my
we're actually
culture
finding
that-
out is that there are many problems. There are
I
many.
went to Malibu. I went to this beautiful
There are many.
You know what I mean? Like, just look
They have
ahead.
these beautiful
Look ahead.
Lisa,
I've seen what the Indians have done. They're doing beautiful. They're
Okay.
beautiful stuff.
She's speaking
okay,
of
thank you,
experience,
thank you very
what
much.
happened to her people.
One of the things that's telling
Mahalo, mahalo.
what are we finding out is that there are problems that are going to face us. We don't have to solve them tonight. But we do have to think about them. And believe me, people have been thinking about this for some time. So there are ways. Nations are able to emerge again from captivity, and we can do this. But we don't have to solve everything tonight. Yeah.
Would you folks like to open up a bank here in Hawaii and assist us with Aloha? We could certainly use help.
Let me just say something to sister.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name, my dear?
Timmer?
Simmer? Timmer. What she was saying to us, basically, is what happened to her people. Okay? What has happened to her people?
Sure.
What has happened to most of the American natives?
They became wards of a nation.
All right?
The wards of the United
And it's easy to do because they got a lot of land. They can manipulate the Indians left and right. Okay?
Once you become wards, you lost your land.
No, I'm talking about the United States. They can yank you from here to here to here, whatever. Okay? All I'm talking about is that the Hawaiian people, and some of you are going to get pissed off with me, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Insofar as being native people, nothing has happened to you. Nothing. Queen Liliuokalani, when she told the people, go home, she told them for a reason to go home. Because she knew in 1890, in Wounded Knee, South Dakota, 200 men, women, and children were slaughtered by the 7th Cav. Okay? She knew in the back of her mind, if she told the Hawaiian people, let's fight them. Indians always talk about, the movies with Tonto and all them, huh? White eyes will come. Yeah? You wipe out a couple of hundred, thousands of white eyes will come. It does not stop. She knew this. And out of this whole thing, the most chaotic thing, 22 Medal of Honor medals were given to people to wipe out 200 men, women, and children of the Lakota Nation. So what you're saying, she knows because it happened to her. It has not happened. Thank God it hasn't happened to us. Yeah. Thank God we are 3,000 miles away. In their minds, they can take us anytime they want. They did it with 160 Marines.
Try to get the land back.
Okay? Right. How many active duty people are here today? 160,000 altogether? Active duty.
50,000. 50,000.
50,000?
Yeah.
Marines, Air Force, Navy?
Active duty, yeah.
The whole military.
Yeah.
There's more than that.
I think there'll be more than that. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if they can do it, the reason why they were successful with 160, because there were Hawaiian rats in the house. Okay? Hawaiian rats were in the house.
Okay.
Let's hear it for the pot. Hey, you wanted the rooster. That's
Okay,
right.
just a little bit of history. Okay? Why did the military come here? Because the United States at that time wanted to be like England. And at that time, England, the saying was the sun never sets on England because they were colonized all over the planet.
Aye.
And being that Hawaii was an outpost for military to be colonized all over the Pacific for the United States, that's why the military came here. We have two industries, both of them having to do with tour. One is Waikiki, and that's falling down too, with all the homeless over there defecating all over the place, which is good.
Yeah.
And the other is the tour of duty. But the amount that you ask about, not only is it military, but it's also military dependent. There are families that will be affected too. And that's what they're afraid of. Because when the personnel leaves, the family leaves too.
Aye.
And for those that are against having the military shut down, their jobs are affected. And most of these jobs are service personnel. But let's go back in history again. Our people never have money.
That's right.
Bartering system.
Right.
And the Queen said, no trust the silver dollar. The Queen said that. So if we eliminate the money, we make everybody do the same thing, we're all rich. Or poor, whichever perspective you can look at.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to this. Pako waha, hana ka lima. O kole maluna, lima I ka aina. You put your colis in the air, put your hand in the dirt, and let's get back to our system. Our ancestors were like this. They were willing to take on anything. And this is how the poem goes. We the willing, led by the unknowing, doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We've done so much, so long, with so little, we can do anything with nothing. Thank you.
Right. Okay, Maka, you.
One of the things that I keep hearing is that what can we do, right? And I hear a lot of suggestions, but can we get to something solid? Like if we're talking about barter, can we form a committee to start putting that together? And then also, another thing that I propose is that maybe we work with Williamson Chang or some of the people at the UH Richardson School of Law to have some kind of online program so all of us can learn the kingdom law that we will be reverting back to. If we're not on the same page, how can we move together in unison? We will always, amongst ourselves, be
That's a good idea.
arguing and thinking that we should be going in other directions.
Right,
if you've actually read the Constitution, there is a step-by-step program on how to reinstate the government by King Kamehameha III. So we don't need to recreate the wheel, we just need to know what the wheel is.
Yeah, just fill a position, state building.
If we have something like this where we're all, learning.
Ruth, that man's the answer right here.
Okay.
This man right here.
Well, the kingdom laws are in place.
Yes.
Well, all of it's in place, but not all of us know it. And you know, I challenge on a regular basis the U.S. government who tries to tell me that I can't take our lands back. But all I do is say, show me in the books, in law, where I'm not entitled to what I was given by my ancestors and by your U.S. probate courts. Now, if I didn't know the law, I couldn't do that. But because of that, DLNR has not been able to challenge me. It took them 2.5 years to try to challenge me. Finally, they signed the papers and sent it to me and asked me, which lands do you want to farm? Which lands do you want back? I'm like, all of them, you know? It's whatever our family's entitled to, that's what I want. But it took me reading and understanding the laws and just standing solid, you know, the whole thing, and not moving, becoming the wall, and making them prove to me that I was wrong. And every single time I said, I will back off, uncontested, if you show me in law where I'm wrong. And if all of you learn what your rights are and what you're entitled to, all of us, I mean, a number of us are heirs to the exact same lands, but we are heirs. We can only file our undivided interest that we are entitled to. So you have to know all of that. When one person, when I file for land, I'm not taking away from anybody else. What I do is I open the door for everybody else. Because they cannot give to me if you're entitled to the same thing, and they must recognize you. So what I'm saying to you guys is, let's learn the law. Let's maybe do something like this.
Okay, there's two proposals you made. One is to learn the law, and
go on the land.
And the other
going on the land right
starting
there.
the barter.
She's in charge.
There's already an organization, they're called Transition Oahu 2.0, that are doing things like that, bartering systems. They have like fairs, they do all kinds of different activities that involve bartering, and there's also a time banking Oahu that they're doing similar type of thing, where it's like time exchange, where you like get online and be in their network, and if somebody needs a ride to someplace, or you know, different kinds of trading.
But I think we need to do this amongst the Kanaka Maoli. We need to have our own system, because you know what? This is what I found. I grew up in Florida. There's two different things between Florida and us. One, when we want to help you, the way we look at it is when success is when all of us succeed. In the mainland, success is when I succeed. It's a whole different mentality. So if we want to perpetuate our own definition of success and prosperity, we have to do it our way. And so
they're here
we can
in
look at
Hawaii.
these models, but I think we can integrate into the models. But you know, we can have our own Kingdom Kala. We can have our own. All of us provide some kind of service that's of value. And you know what that's going to do? It's going to make us see our own personal value. You know, and that's what I see a lot that's happening with our own people. The people that are homeless, they're oppressed. They don't feel valuable. And every single one of us came in here with talent, and I believe our ancestors have us here right now, because every single one of us brings a gift that's going to be the piece of the puzzle that brings our kingdom back. Every single one of us is valuable. We need to find that value.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. So, how do we implement this? Okay. The one with the idea usually takes the lead, right? And how many of you want to work with Ruth on this?
I want to work with Ruth and him and Kilikila.
Okay.
Dennis, are you in?
We're kind of forming little committees, but really, we're talking about the law.
Next week Saturday, we clean local air on how they go.
Oh, okay.
Help us dig some weeds out of that already there. Like Uncle said, we got to get back to the land. Let's get back to our land.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people say we cannot go back to the old ways. No, that's wrong.
That's our answer.
Okay.
But that's our sustainability right there.
On Saturday, for anybody that's interested, I'll give you my email and I'll send you a link. There is going to be an event in Waimanalo at the Green Road Farms. It's $3, I think. And what they're going to be teaching you is how to do water catchment systems. So, you know, we're paying for water. Now, if you know the law, in each ahupua'a, they're not allowed to charge us for water. But rather than fighting the law, we can start collecting it. We can make each of our own places where we live sustainable homesteads. The only way we're going to become independent is not to be part of the system. And in Hawaii, with the sunlight, with the water that we have, with the winds, we can do it. Now, it's going to take some money, so I don't know if we do it with the...
Why do you point at me when you say money?
Oh, because you can announce it louder.
Okay. All right. Okay. One more.
You gotta realize that one more thing. We was recognized internationally.
Right.
So we still gotta do it internationally. Okay?
Yes.
So money's gonna have to flow. Okay? Law's gonna have to flow.
Right.
Government's gonna have to flow.
Right.
It's not gonna be just us.
That's true.
You already know that.
But at the same time, we have to make ourselves pa'a too. But you're right. We still have to do it internationally, and we can. Yeah. So, three suggestions. One was the legal system to learn more about the law, and Ruth, you suggested Richardson School of Law. They actually don't know Hawaiian Kingdom law. We've got people here much more intimate to Hawaiian Kingdom law. So maybe we should be forming our committee here. Yeah. Well, yeah. We got guys who know the law here. So you want to head up committee or Dennis?
Yes.
You want to head up a committee to create to educate people about the laws, the Hawaiian Kingdom laws. Huh? That's what you've been doing anyway all these years. And the law of nations. Yeah. Okay. So you tell us what we need to do to kokua that or to take part of that. So just communicate with me during this month then. Okay.
I think the first thing we should all do is get each other the information.
Right.
Name,
Right.
address.
You're all signing up,
email
so
address,
we can hand out.
number.
Okay. So.
Because
Okay.
we all go
Well-
away and I don't know his number.
Yeah. Well.
Each of us.
Okay. Those of you who are signed up on the list, would you like, or do we have your permission to share that information with everybody?
Send it out.
Is that all right?
I'd like a copy.
Okay. Yeah, email. Yeah, we can send out the email. So is that okay with everybody? If it's not okay with you, you let me know, and I can make sure that doesn't get out there. Okay, everybody? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Mike.
There's about over 40 of us here right now. Only 20 of us signed this. So please sign it if you never sign it.
Is there another?
Thank you. And raise your hand if you never get it. What's that?
Here's smashed out with 2 boards.
There's 2 boards out there.
There's 2 boards.
Yeah, is there another one? Oh, okay.
Now, did you folks handle half a room each and stand that side?
Okay, yeah, so if you haven't signed up yet, please sign up so that we can keep in touch with everybody. Okay, Mahalo, we're gonna have to wind things down, but we still need somebody to head up the barter new economy part. Okay, you'll be on the committee. And anybody else want to be on that committee? Creating a bartering system or a new way that we can trade and
I've actually
conduct.
created something, but I structure, the legal structure that we, if any, that needs to be done. So,
1889 compiled laws of the corporation.
I would like a lot of input.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Is somebody else? Do you want to help her with that then?
I can give her a place to go where she can register her company under the Hawaiian Kingdom laws.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Ruth, he will help you with that. Oh, is you first going to help me with that?
And Lauren.
Okay. Okay. Mahalo. Right. And then the third one was go work in Loi.
We have to reestablish our Lois, our fish ponds, because that is our farming.
Yeah.
You know, we get one farmer here that's going to feed us. Uncle Joe's brother over there. But we need to start getting involved with rebuilding our Lois, rebuilding our fish ponds, because that is exactly our sustainability. A lot of Hawaiians say, we cannot believe the old way. That's BS to me, because it's happening right now. We gotta go back to the old way.
We are the answer, no discussion.
So we do have
learn our history.
Once we
simple
and we become our own government.
Yeah. So you want? Do you want to head up? Do you want to head up that? Kyoki was here last time.
Like I said, next Saturday,
So
please come to Haiwa, help us clean the road.
okay, do you want to head that up with some kind of a committee to promote that?
You're on local pond. I took care of that pond for 15 years before I moved up to London.
Okay, we'll talk again later. Okay. All right, mahalo. Mike, you want to make the? We have another handout here.
One more.
Yeah. This is the only one thing.
So copy.
Okay. Okay. The first part of this is a form that has like a carbon copy. Yeah. So that last time we gave out a form that says I want a kokua in such and such a way. We only had one sheet, and so people didn't realize, or some people didn't turn in because there was only one sheet. Anyway, so now we can have copies. There's different ways we can take action, and so one of the things is participating in the different ku'e actions as they come along. Like if we're going to do la okoa like that. So I'll have you all on a mailing list to let you know of some of these ku'e actions, and not all of them are going to be started by us. I mean, there's a lot of people doing other things. So the basic thing is to show up and to encourage others to do so. And then we also want to direct people to hawaiiannational.com website, which is we're going to be I think I announced before, we're teaming up with Free Hawaii, and basically going to be encouraging or putting out information that people can take action with, and then through the social media and emails and whatnot. And then we want to arrange more briefings in communities to share things that we're doing here. So if you can kokua with that, check that one. And then join the team. We need people like we basically just did today. We just head up little actions and plans that we plan to do. So if you can head up a particular kind of action, please check that. Technical production. We want to start doing some videos and some publications and things like that. And so if you want to get involved in that part, please check that. And event planning.
Sorry, it's not next week. It's this Saturday. 14th.
Oh, this Saturday. Okay. Event planning, if you want to get involved with that kind of thing, please check that. Networking, meaning that you can kokua in talking to other people and bringing more people together. Marketing and merchandising. We're actually going to start to expand or let's say rejuvenate our t-shirt project, as well as getting into some other things. We're developing a calendar. It's going to be a pictorial calendar. It looks like most of the other calendars you get here, but it's a calendar of Hawaiian Kingdom, important Hawaiian Kingdom dates and things like that, so that we can remind ourselves where we came from, why these dates are important, and things like that. So we hope to get that out in December, and so we'll let you know when that comes out. It's going to be a Hawaiian Kingdom calendar. Oh, postage stamps. We're working on a design for postage stamp that we probably will release. Now, this is not the Hawaiian Kingdom post. Oh, sorry. We're also working on a design, on a plan to do postage stamps. Now, this is not yet the Hawaiian Kingdom postage stamp because we don't have a way to actually deliver the mail from the Hawaiian Kingdom yet. But this is going to be a U.S. postage stamp. The U.S. has a program by which you can design your own stamp, and they'll print it up for, or different companies will print them up for you. And they actually are legal stamps to use in the U.S. postage system.
One suggestion for that?
Yeah.
Make sure it's 98 cents international postage stamps because we're in the kingdom. We're not in America. Don't use the 44 cents or whatever it is, airmail or whatever. It has to be 98 cents international mail stamp if you're going to do anything.
98 cents?
Yeah. Okay. International mail stamp. I send all my mail with dollar stamps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Not too many people use mail anymore, but
well,
that's cool.
I write it to the kingdom and I put international mail on that. They mail me my property tax bill to me in the kingdom, 98 cents.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So we're working on several projects that we can actually merchandise. We may even create a series of postcards that have picture postcards, but they say Hawaiian Kingdom on it instead of State of Hawaii. And just to get people more to the idea that we're in the Hawaiian Kingdom. So that's the marketing merchandising. Okay, and Mike, may I turn this next part over to you? Yeah, may I turn this next part over to you?
Folks, on your papers that we gave out, of course, to move this project forward, whatever you can do to kokua financially would be greatly appreciated, and of course it will be used for all of us for the kingdom's sake. Mahalo. You can see it either now or you want to pledge something for by the month, either by checks or PayPal. If you have any questions, you can ask Leon about further donations. Okay, mahalo.
Okay. Mahalo. And we want to thank everybody for coming tonight. We're going to have to pack things up here because we have an agreement with the store here that we get everything all piled by 8:30. Yes.
I see you guys wearing this shirt, Free Hawaii. You know, Free Hawaii is a state of mind, not just a state of government. We're using that as a verb, to free Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why don't we switch that to an adjective? As in, Hawaii is free already.
Sure.
And we are free already. So if we just do a mindset, everything will follow.
Right. And speaking of mindset, we need to get rid of the term mainland.
Yes, America.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway, that's a mindset.
Continent of U.S.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Mahalo.
I want to mahalo each and every one of you here for coming out tonight to be unified and joining us in this great cause. I wanted to leave everyone here with blessings from Kalani, from our makuas, our kupunas, to us, that it may flow through our ohanas, our kids, our neighbors, everyone. Through the spirit of our Queen Lili'o Kalani, she looked through God for guidance. She looked through the scriptures in Mateo 5, Pauku 5, where they said, "Po mai ka ina po e akahai, no lako e lilo ai ka honua. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." We will inherit the earth. The aina, our aina. Akahai. We have lokahi, for us to be agreeable in spirit. Olu olu kamanao, having kindness in our thoughts. Ha'aha'a, to have humility. And then aho nui, be patient. Lanakila, will have victory in life. Aho nui, akahai, lokahi, olu olu, ha'aha'a, aho nui. What do we have? Aloha. Akahai e Hawaii, lokahi a kulike, olu olu mau kamanao, ha'aha'a kukulana, aho nui a lanakila, aloha mai e Hawaii, no ke aloha no ka umea nui, he o mai e Hawaii, na puale ia mamo, na puale ia mamo, he Hawaii e kuone hanawe. Kuhome kula ibine, oli no ina ono lanie, e Hawaii aloha Ako pakayapao.